Oh man, one of these songs that I finally remember from the late 90s. Hitline, they were all over this record. Fond memories of hearing this song on Hitline back in 1999 from my fancy playlist. February 6, 1999, the Candyskins with Feed It. Candyskins, they were considered one of the seminal Brit-pop bands of the 90s. Brit-pop bands, Radiohead, they became real popular. There was Supergrass and Blur, Oasis, but Candyskins, they never got as popular. Four guys from the same village in England called Islip in Oxfordshire, which is about 5 miles north of Oxford in England. They attended secondary school together. Those four guys were Nick Burton, John Holliday, and Mark and Nick Cope, two brothers. After leaving school, they formed a band together. They started singing and playing together, and the band underwent some lineup changes, underwent some name changes. Then they became the Candyskins in 1989. They released their first single, The Submarine Song, in 1990, and then came their first full-length album not long after that called The Space I'm In. Their second album was with a major label, and they added a bass player. The first bass player they added, his name was, well, there was Carl Shell. He was the second bass player, but the first bass player they had was Richard Brown. He played on their first album, I believe, and then Carl Shell played on their second and third album, if I got my research correctly. Their second album bombed. They tried to build on their American record sales on their second album. It was called Fun. It was released by a major label too, the Geffen record label. But sales were poor, and they got into a row. The band got into a row with Geffen Records, supposedly over songwriting, over royalties. And Geffen dropped them. They dropped the Candyskins. Candyskins, they signed with an indie record label, and they released their third album. Their third album was called Sunday Morning Fever in 1997. They finally broke the British Top 40 with Monday Morning, and that was about 1997, 1998. They had about 3 singles off the album, I think. And then the band just broke up. They went into limbo. 1998, they released an album called Death of a Minor TV Celebrity. That was where Feed It came from, that album. And Hitline probably would not have even played this song at all, except for one thing. Feed It was featured in a soundtrack of a movie called Waterboy, which starred Adam Sandler. Hitline was probably the only outlet that played that song. They were a great top 40 satellite station. Beautiful record. Nice memories. Feed It. Candyskins. Number 24. Fancy playlist of February 6, 1999.